Wow, Marie, just starting it off. Thank you so much. That's so kind. Marie with the $20 donation. Thank you so much. Cracking the seal on tonight's show. And I just really appreciate it. That goes a long way. And thank you all so much for being here. Ooh, I missed. I lost one. No, I didn't. Okay. I thought I lost a bead on my bracelet, but turns out I didn't. I was just a little knot on the end there. But hope you guys are doing great. Thank you for being here with me. As always, it's Friday night and we're diving into yet another expedition into the paranormal portal. And I can only ask that you keep your hands and arms safely within the vehicle as we progress through the portal. Otherwise, you might pull back a stump, and I can't be held responsible for that. Portals can be incredibly sharp, as it were, so just be careful. But we have a lot to get to. Obviously, tonight, it is Friday. It's the end of the week. So first and foremost, happy weekend to those of you that are Monday through Friday driven. And I'm glad you made it. Conrail, what did he say? What's up, Brent? I parked my semi for the weekend, so I'm here live. Oh, awesome, Conrail. Good to have you here. Sorry, I don't know. I know how much you enjoy the ride. Well, I do. I like the scenery and all that, but I'm just as happy that you get to just hang out and relax, you know. But I'm glad you're keeping safe when you're on the roads. But yeah, I'm happy to keep you company wherever you are. Just really thrilled you guys are here. It's been a long week. Shoo, says Wizard. I'm here with that. Just don't call Brent Stumpy. No, I didn't know how to take that. About 15 versions of that just flew through my head quickly, and most of them weren't good. So no, I'm don't think I'm currently stumpy. I'm about 5'10" ish. So I mean on the 10 side, not on the 5'9" and then some change. I think I'm right about there. Marie says, oh my God, today was a rough one at work. I don't think I ever clocked out faster than I did today. Well, I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you all made it. Thank you for being here. Hey, Justin Goodearth and Barbara Mora over on the Rumble. Good to see you guys. Great to have you here as always. We've got a lot going on tonight. Obviously, we're going to get to the news. We're going to get to an article that I guess I'm going to have to finish off the Black Eyed Kids article tonight because I couldn't quite do it last time. There's just too big a last story, and I don't think I did anyway. Maybe I did, maybe I'm misremembering it, but in any case, it's been a hell of a week for me, too. I took on a whole nother project, one that I'm absolutely honored to be a part of and to have been asked to be a part of. It was truly cool, and I don't know why, because, you know, honestly, we have such a small presence here on YouTube. It's hard to believe anybody notices that I'm out here outside of you guys, of course, who are family, and I love you guys, but we don't see a lot of it. Brent, the softest spoken guy around. Oh, thank you, Jeff. I hope that's a compliment. But in any case, good to see you all. Linda's here, Jeff's here, Wizard Moon is here, Rachel is here. I saw her right off the bat, and got a lot of people here. I should probably scroll up and start working the way down. Of course, we said hello to Marie, who is so generous to begin the night tonight. T-Bone is here. Who else as I scroll? Dale Atkinson is here. Good to see you, Dale. Good to have you here as always. Linda, as I said, and the Batman popped in. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for coming in. Charles Stevens, Mr. Chucky, is over there on the Facebook saying hi, so that's cool. I don't know if he's going to be making it over here or not, but we'll be waiting for him either way. Or you can hang out over on Facebook. I'm happy wherever you want to watch, wherever it makes most sense for you. Let's see. Anybody else come in that I haven't said? Jeff Garvey, as I think I mentioned you, Jeff, but if not, welcome. Good to see you. Izard, what up? Who's Izard? Izard. Or is that Wizard? Is that a I think it was a typo. I'm just reading it as I can here. Yeah, it looks like I've covered most everybody that had come in, but let's see if anybody else has come in. Conrail fan, of course, is parked. Bogart's here. Good to see you. Awesome to have you here as well. And we're cruising through the list. Man, you guys talk a lot. That's so awesome. Chucky Danger. Ooh, he's got he's got the Danger Zone icon there. That's perfect. Chucky Danger. That's a wonderful, brother. Is that a new podcast you're putting together? Just let us know. be sure to let people know, Chucky, because I'm happy to help promote what you're doing, brother. You've been a huge friend and help here on the show. So let us know. That icon looks really professional, though. So if that's the case, hell, I'm thrilled for you, brother. You're a natural. John Temprin came in. Good to see you. John, great to have you here. And I guess that brings us up to speed right now, at least for who's here. But again, we're going to be getting the news. Sheldon will be coming along shortly as soon as he can. I don't know exactly when he's going to get in there, but I was talking about this project that I was invited to take part in. Excuse me. And I was really honored because, again, to reiterate, I mean, we got a pretty small presence on YouTube. Our footprint is pretty small in terms of YouTube shows. Anything under 50,000 is almost, hardly noticed by the communities at large. But somehow, I guess somebody noticed we're out here and they sent an invitation to be a part of this incredible project. And this is something you're probably seeing a lot of right now, because today was the release date for these promotions for this crowdfunding campaign. And I'm going to play it for you right now, right here live on the show. This is the video that I did with the Minion, and we had a lot of fun doing it. It was it was a lot of work, and I wish it turned out a lot better than it did, but it was fun. Let's check it out. Hey, buddy, you want to bring me a water, please?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Thanks. This is a reality for many people around the world. In our experience, clean water is a given. We turn on a faucet, open a bottle, and we don't give it a second thought. In many areas around the world, water consists of lakes, rivers, or ponds. And these sources always run the risk of carrying disease or bacteria. In fact, some sources claim that the death toll reaches about 1.7 million people annually from bad water. All of us hear issues like this and we think, I wish there was something I could do to help. Well, now you can. And this is why I chose to be a part of Team Water, the biggest creator crowdfunding collaboration ever. And we're reaching out for you to help. Our goal is to raise $40 million in the month of August to bring clean water to 2 million people around the world. Just $1 will give one person clean water for up to a year. $20 will give them clean water for decades. So join us in making history together, side by side with communities around the world. Because water connects us all, and everybody deserves clean water. So please go to teamwater.org right now and donate what you can. And together we can change the world. No, you can still look at me. You don't have to look at the camera It was fun to do. We had a lot of fun doing it, but that was the Team Water promotion, and that's what I got to be a part of. I was really thrilled. That, of course, is the brainchild of Mr. Beast and Mark Rober, and about 3,000 plus other creators were roped into this, and somehow I made it into that mix, so I did the best we could. We had fun doing it. I didn't realize how loud the cars would be. And it made me think, well, should I dub this and just record parts in the studio where it's nice and quiet, or do I? But then it would sound weird if it was going from noisy to quiet to noisy to quiet. So I just went, we'll just let the car noises, play throughout it. I hope that wasn't too distracting, but at any rate, I don't know. I hope what we're doing can help. I love this cause. I love what they're doing, and I think it breaks my heart to think that there's people out there in our world today. And you look at our world, and you look at all of the progress we've made, and all of the things we have available to our fingertips especially here in the West. And then you think that there's still communities out there where people are taking those ratty plastic bottles and going down to whatever standing water they can get to safely and try to grab the cleanest water they can. And that's what they use. And a lot of times they have specific like places for drinking water versus washing water. It's, I mean, obviously it gets conflated quite a bit, but still, that's not the way it should be done in today's world. I think we've made it far enough as a worldwide community that the one thing everybody should have is water, and safe water. The fact that I ran across that stat when I was putting it together, it's like 1.7 million people annually lose their lives due to drinking contaminated water or bad water. And it's like, oh God, what a heartbreaker. So, thank you, Tom Dougal. Appreciate it, brother. But yeah, I don't know. It's just my effort, my hope that somehow this little voice that we have here can help. And if any of you want to help, please do go to teamwater.org and see if you can help out. Because like I said in the video, $1 gives one person clean water for a year. $1. It's like I lose that in the laundry, several times a week. And so if $1 does that, I don't know. So just do what you can. If you can, go to teamwater.org and contribute, see what you can do to make a change in the world. Thank you. Thank you, Ramon. I appreciate that. I love you in this exploration for the truth. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. So I was really honored to be a part of it, and I'm hoping you guys will help represent the portal and, get involved if you can. And it's not like other creators couldn't pick up the mantle now and do it. There was a specific invite to get it started, and I was honored to be a part of that. But any of you guys out there with channels, throw out a Team Water promo. Just, spread the word. The more people, the merrier. They want to hit $40 million by the month end of August, and I'm thinking it could go bigger. I'm thinking we could do a lot better. So let's hopefully that'll be the case. So there we go. Howdy, Brent. Do you recall the Doctors Without Borders works on clean water via donations? I used to donate to them in the 2000s. Love that organization. Yeah. I was the Clean Water is working with a group called Water Aid, and they are going into all areas, and including the U.S. There's places in the U.S. that Team Water has been helping, Mr. B specifically helping to install water in places that have lost it or have got bad wells or any number of things. So, I mean, it's not just the world abroad, it's all people that need clean water. So just get involved if you can. I don't want to use up a ton of the show about that, but it's just something I'm really proud to be a part of. So thank you to the YouTube creator community for bringing me in on that. I'm honored, and hopefully our voice here helps. So, all right, well, we're going to get to the news. Again, Sheldon will be here as soon as he can, and God bless him for that. Before we get to the news, one other thing I want to bring up, and you missed the 20% off if you didn't already buy tickets. But coming up in October, the 24th of October, I will be appearing with Hometown Ghost Stories over in the Barrel House Z in Weymouth, Massachusetts. So if you can make that, or you're over on the East Coast, by all means, please do. I'd love to see you guys. Love to see some familiar faces if you can be in the neighborhood. That'd be really cool. I'd never made it over on the East Coast before. This will be my first venture, and it'll be a live presentation. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but I'm going to try to keep it keep it as professional and entertaining as I know how, whatever that means. Not sure what that means yet, but please go to what is it, Eventbrite, and look up the Hometown Ghost Stories live, and you can buy your tickets in advance. I don't know. I think they'll probably have tickets at the door too, but why not get them in advance? That way you know you got a seat, because I think it is limited seating. But I'd love for there to be a bunch of portal people over there. I'd love that my people showed up. So if you're over on the East Coast, love to see you there. All right, well, let's get to the news and start this off and see where the hell we go. But yeah, Grandizer. Brent, there was a story about a Navajo reservation up in northern Arizona has no running water. So like you said, it's worldwide. It is, yeah. And I don't mean to suggest that there's not plenty of problems here in the States. There is. and there's communities that are really, really overlooked, and that shouldn't happen either. So I'm just glad that some of the efforts of this whole campaign will include the United States, because I don't think there's, people need help all over the place. And, I'd just love to know that we're doing something to help move that needle forward. So, all right, let's get to the news, ladies and gentlemen, and find out just what the hell's going on. And I'm not even sure what headlines I got up, because I've had several up since before Wednesday's show. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the news. Where the hell is that? I don't even have that in position. Let me get that in position before I go further, because I just realized that if Sheldon does pop up, I didn't even have his seat ready for on-screen stuff. Okay, now it should be. All right, here we go. The news, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paranormal Portal News Desk. I am your anchor, Brent Thomas, here, and we're going to dive into the news and see just what the hell's going on. So, got several articles pulled up for you guys to go over. We'll go through a few of them, maybe 3 or 4. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly how many we're going to go through, but we'll hit as many as we can, and hopefully you guys find it entertaining, enlightening, informative, and maybe a little spooky too. Not all of it is paranormal news, but it's all interesting. So hopefully you'll find it interesting and entertaining as well. Throughout the course of the show, I utilize a lot of different sites here on the show, and these sites are so exceptionally well done. And I got to implore you guys every show, please visit these sites. Please give them your love. Please give them your attention, because there's a lot of people out there providing all of this information to all of us who are interested in this weird, wonderful world of the strange and unusual. And they need your help. They need your love. They need your support. They need your traffic. Your traffic does drive revenue to them. It does help them keep the lights on. So please visit these sites. There's so much more information on all of them than we could ever cover on these few shows that we do. Sorry, I'm a kid at heart. I'll never lose that. But please do that. Support the sites. Give them your love. And if you ever talk on their forums and whatever, just let them know the Paranormal Portal sent you. All right, here we go. The first story of the night. Oh, thank you, Linda. Gifted a membership. God bless you. It looks like she gifted 1 membership, and it looks like Whispering Portals got it. So congratulations, Whispering Portals. You are now a 1-month member of the Paranormal Portal. And special thank you to Linda for making that happen. That is so awesome. I really appreciate that. The memberships here on YouTube have really, really helped carry a lot more water for me personally and financially. And I realize it's a big ask, and not everybody can do it, and I completely understand. But for those of you that can and do, just know that it really helps out a ton. So thank you to those of you who choose to be members. It's been an amazing boost for me in a lot of ways to keep doing this. So I appreciate it. All right, let's get to this first article. This is from unexplained-mysteries.com, ladies and gentlemen. An incredible site, one that I can't recommend enough. But this one, let me move it over so I'm not chopping the title off. There we go. All right, unexplained-mysteries.com brings us the first one from the Nature and Environment files. It's Milwaukee lion mystery resurfaces with new big cat sighting in Wisconsin. I didn't know there was supposed to be a lion over there. What's going on? This is brand new to me. So, and it's actually just yesterday old. So it's from the 31st. That's what I love about this site. There's just always new articles being posted. Let's check it out. 10 years ago, a sighting of a lion in Milwaukee prompted a major citywide hunt involving hundreds of people. The infamous incident began on July 20th, 2015, when a woman called the police reporting a large cat in the 200 block of East Garfield Avenue in Brewers Hill. The report sparked a major hunt which involved, among other things, law enforcement officials patrolling the city with long guns and meat traps being set up to tempt the creature. Multiple people reported sightings of the animal, and each time a new report came in, authorities would scramble to reach the location before the creature moved on. Well, at one point they believed that they had cornered the lion, but somehow it managed to slip away. Well, ultimately, the creature was never caught, and nobody knew what happened to it. Now, however, almost exactly 10 years later, new reports have started to emerge of a large cat in Milwaukee's Riverside Park, prompting fresh round of speculation and intrigue.
Florida.
It's not Florida. It's Milwaukee. But thank you, Ghostbox, for weighing in. Now, however, 10 years later, it's resurfaced. But is there really a large lion on the loose again? Some believe the original creature may not have been a lion at all, but a large dog. Maybe. I don't know. I guess it's possible. Some people in urban places aren't really familiar with wildlife that much. Like cows become, horses. And so is it possible? Sure. I guess it's possible. But let's continue. Some believe the original creature may not have been a lion. It's also possible that these creatures have escaped from zoos or private collectors. Stories of large exotic cats are not unusual. Even in the UK, there have been reports of panthers and other similar beasts dating back decades. Exactly what accounts for the Milwaukee sightings, however, remains unclear. So the question is there really still a big cat like this loose in Milwaukee, or is it a mountain lion that's just made its residence near Milwaukee and people are just saying, well, it's a big cat, must be a lion? Again, you got to think in urban situations, people probably are familiar with lions and tigers. Some inner city kids may not have a real clear understanding, and I don't mean to sound like an idiot here, but I worked with a lot of at-risk youth from inner city urban areas, and it's surprising the amount of information that they never got, because it wasn't relevant in their world. They're from an inner city troubled environments and stuff, and so things like animal identification, if it's a dog, a cat, or something else, and it was literally that way for a lot of them. So it wouldn't surprise me if some inner city people saw a big cat and went, well, that's a lion. Well, if it's a mountain lion, they're kind of right. They are lions too, in a sense, not directly related, but actually mountain lions are more closely related to your house cats than they are to the big lions of Africa and such. But it's interesting. Again, is it possible? Sure. Perhaps it's another case of somebody's domestic exotic pet getting free and deciding it likes being free. I don't think you can ever really tame a lion. Like you could tame, obviously cats, dogs, they're domesticated. They've been around us for thousands or tens of thousands of years. So their cohabitation with us is a given, but dragging something from an absolutely feral background and saying, well, you're my pet now, it doesn't translate real well. I actually lived with a raccoon. And the raccoon was great when it was little, but it reached an age where it decided it wasn't domestic anymore. And then it was not fun. That thing chewed on my hand like crazy. Blood everywhere. It was really frightening. So the thing just kind of freaked. And so I don't know if that's maybe the case for this, or is it a misidentified mountain lion, or is it just a misidentified large other thing like a dog or some stray that people are just assuming is a lion. Hell, there was a zoo in China trying to I think they were painting dogs to look like pandas and telling people they had a panda exhibit. So it's not without merit. I don't know. You be the judge. I don't know. But maybe there's a big lion over in Milwaukee, which is absolutely frightening, I think. That's creepy as hell. But that's the first story tonight. I don't know if you ever heard of that before. I didn't know about the one 10 years ago. I didn't know about the one right now. But now we know. That's what the news is supposed to do. Bring you up to speed. We're educating you one story at a time. And me. So, all right, here we go with the next one. This one's from Creatures, Myths, and Legends of unexplained-mysteries.com. Video clip shows alleged Bigfoot in Coyote Ridge, California. Whoa. Thank God for the red circles, folks. They have totally pointed out so many anomalies through the years. You know, here's the thing, and is it? Maybe it is. Maybe it's just a hiker. But look at that image. And how with any certainty could you be that that's not a person? That's a Bigfoot? How could you know with any degree of certainty when this is what you're looking at? Now, granted, a lot of times you'll see something with your eyes and it looks much more obvious than it ever will through a photograph or a video. Oftentimes, things don't translate real well. So, but what we're left with here is this. This is what we got. And I know it's not moving right now, and maybe it was moving, but I still would never feel comfortable going, well, that was definitely a Bigfoot, not a person. Because you can't make those physical distinctions. You can't make them when it's covered with branches and all of the flora of the plants around it. So, well, let's see what it says, though. We do have a video to check out, so we'll check that out too. And let's check it out. California. A fast-moving hominid was inadvertently picked up on camera by a man who was out with his dogs in the mountains. The intriguing clip was recently sent to Rocky Mountain Sasquatch organization. Oh, that's Kelly Shaw and his wife. Yeah, wonderful. RMSO is really fantastic. I've been listening and checking out Kelly's stuff for years. They do a hell of a job over there. By a man identified only as Bill, who captured the alleged creature on film back in May of this year. The action takes place primarily within the first few seconds of the video, with the alleged Sasquatch appearing briefly among the trees in the background at the top left of the frame. It moves quickly from left to right before hunkering down behind some thicker foliage. While the region is certainly known to be a hotspot for Bigfoot sightings, the reaction to this particular clip has been mixed. While some believe the footage genuinely depicts a Bigfoot, others remain skeptical, citing the lack of clarity. The creature's rapid movement and distinctly human-like gait, so could this be genuine evidence of an undiscovered hominid roaming the wilds of California? Or is it simply someone in a Bigfoot costume pulling a prank? You can check out the video and decide for yourself below. Well, again, if this is the quality of the video, I mean, it could be somebody in a Pokemon costume and it could look like a Bigfoot. I mean, you'd have no way to telling, but let's check out the video and see who is this. This is from RMSO. Again, Kelly Shaw and his wife. Excellent. Check out RMSO online every time you can. Kelly's always posting great stuff up there, and he has quite an archive posted through the years. So some great stuff. Let me cough. Okay, let's check out the video and see just what they caught.
Coyote Ridge Bigfoot caught on camera in eastern Sierras.
Okay, I want to get to the actual footage here because I don't want to just
creature in it. I can see that it does move its arms, and there is one frame with the side profile that I can see.
Yeah, I'm not really buying that that's a Bigfoot. That's a cute dog. Beautiful dog. Where did the Bigfoot go? Oh, is that from the actual hikers, I wonder? There it is. Here it comes. Those arms look really, really short. I'm trying to go back if I can. I don't know if it'll let me. Yeah, it will. I'm going to go back frame by frame here. Since this is a YouTube video, you can do this. That's really cool. Here it comes. We're going backwards now, but it looks like somebody wearing a hoodie or something like that. I don't even think it's a costume, honestly. I just think they're dressed darkly, but their arms don't look long. Let me go back to as far as it stops right here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that could be a jogging path. It could be a path someone was jogging on. I don't know. That's where, look at the arm just coming out right around the waist. this right here, this part right here is what I'm really focused on. I'm going to try to blow this up if we can. Can you really see it now? Let me see. Yeah, look at this. Okay, so here's the arm reaching out right here. Where is it? Where is it on screen? Right here. This is the arm coming out right here where my mouse is. There it is. But this is the shoulders right here. So this is not exceptionally long armed, and this would be the waist about right here. And it's kind of traveling at this angle. So maybe I don't know what the degrees would be on this, 10, 20 degree angle, whatever. But it's not extraordinarily steep, and it looks like very smooth terrain. There is also the bobbing up and down of the head, which to me is not indicative of the footage that I have seen that I think is legitimate. There is a bobbing up and down of the head. There's the swinging of the arms is fine, but I would expect longer arms on this if it were a Bigfoot. So I'm not really thinking this is a Bigfoot capture here. What do you guys think? Any opinions here? Number 1 in the chat. If you think it's a real Bigfoot, this is a great capture, or 0, you think it's just a misidentified person. What do you guys think? Yeah, I don't see any signs of hair fur. That's a great point, Shell Bell. It does look like fabric. So 1 in the chat, you think it's a good capture. 0, you think it's definitely not a Bigfoot. So Riley Ron Ivy Forest is 0. Nice to meet you, Riley Ron. Great to have you here. Chucky 0, Grandizer 0, Rachel 0, Bogart, Aussie. John Stevenson, I've not seen a 1 in here. How about you on Rumble? What do you guys think? Let me know. I'm looking for the chat. This is a chat poll. So 0, Saved by 0, Grandizer. Gotcha. T-Bone 0, Marie says 0. I'm watching that on my phone and it was about 3/4 of an inch. Justin Goodearth says, don't know. Well, if you're watching it on a phone, it's hard. But Barbara's saying 0 over in Rumble. Yeah, I think everybody's pretty consistent. RU says 0. Conrail fan 0. I'm with you guys. I just don't think this is... It's got the bobbing up and down, so it definitely is atypical. If you watch the Patty film, her head is on a plane. I mean, and she's walking through that creek bed, uneven terrain. I mean, it's not like she's stepping over logs, but it's not like she's on a sidewalk either. But you watch her head, and it's on a plane. And that is the case with the Freeman footage as well. The head is very stationary, even though it's moving on that slope. I don't think that they move the same way we move. I was going to tell you, Russ Accord did a little video, and I didn't catch this, but he was on Parageeks or something like that, and they were going to have him and Maria Mayer on and try to debunk the Patterson film, which Russ is great close friends with Bob Gimlin. And Russ is obviously a big believer in the Patterson Gimlin, as am I. But I was going to try to listen to that, but I didn't catch the episode, so I wonder how that went. If anybody caught that, let me know. They were apparently going to go through it with AI and prove that it was fake, and I don't know how you can prove it's fake, but just more opinions, I guess. But yeah, I don't think this is a Bigfoot. I think we all agree. Hi from Man from the West 420. Good to see you. Great to have you here. Eric Fry popping in. She was stepping over the logs on the Patty footage. Yeah, but her head's still on a plane, so that's what I look for a lot of times. The long arms, the forward facing head. I think this is the hoodie. This definitely looks, that's another thing to check out as well. Look at the position of the head. It's right above the shoulders. Like oftentimes with Bigfoot, they have like this mountain of shoulders and the head looks like it kind of sticks out in front of that. Like they don't have a neck to speak of. Now, you can't really see a neck, but this looks like a hoodie to me. It really does just look like a hoodie and somebody's just popping by on the trail up above. Now at full speed, it looks like they're at a bit of a jog. But you be the judge. Again, I'm not telling you it couldn't be real. I'm just saying those are my arguments to it probably not being real. Mike Prine says inconclusive. Fair enough. But good to see you all. Thank you all for coming in. And so that was the video. Again, no wrong answers, but no right answers either. We can't know. If this is the quality that we're working with, you're just going to make judging calls by what you can see and what you can weigh. I didn't get the feeling of anything that I was looking at other than a person. And I don't know how else to say it. Didn't see enough. Fair enough, Dog Digger. There's very little to work with. Can Brent make Sasquatch sounds again? What do you mean again? I don't think I've ever made Sasquatch sounds. So I don't think I can, honestly. I don't think I've ever done it, and I don't think I can as well. No, I can play Sasquatch sounds, but I can't make them. Bigfoot on a keto diet, John Temperance says. Maybe. Not always smart to jog in the forest. That's a good point, Chucky. Honestly, if you're in the forest, the mountains somewhere, going for a jog is probably a bad thing because you're going to get a big cat chewing on the back of your neck. You're going to look like something fleeing. And they're going to go, oh, game on. So, all right. Well, there you go. That's the first article, or second article, I guess. Right? That was the second one? I think it was the second one. I don't remember how much we've covered. Strange, but let's cover another one on. I think we're going to skip that one. Maybe we'll do that one tomorrow night. I'm just looking through the ones that I had pulled up. Oh, this is one I wanted to do. Good. This is a good one for tonight. This one popped up. I've had this one open since Wednesday, and I was like, ooh. And I was going to try to get to it, but it was just didn't get to it. So we're going to get to it now. This is a cool one, folks. Strange, kind of a modern mystery here, as it's filed in the modern mystery files of unexplained-mysteries.com. Mystery as man dies on a flight and then completely disappears. That's not at all creepy. So I'm like thinking, uh-oh, some kind of cover-up. Sure he died on the flight. And then it's, oh, what body? What are you talking about? There's no death here. It makes you wonder. Sorry, there's a helicopter going over my house. I live close to a hospital here, so if you hear helicopters, that's not good. All right, here it is. Mystery as man dies on flight and then completely disappears from July 29th. It says airline authorities have been left scratching their heads over exactly what happened to the 83-year-old's remains. According to reports, the man who has not been named suffered a severe medical emergency while on Turkish Airlines flight from Istanbul, to the United States on July 13th. But sadly, the 83-year-old died as a result. But it is what happened next that would remain the most perplexing thing about the incident. The decision had been made not to cut the flight short, but to continue on to Chicago O'Hare Airport, which had suitable medical facilities to deal with the situation. When the plane landed, however, nobody could find the man's body anywhere. Oh, dear God. Turkish Airlines had claimed that upon landing, the body had been transferred to a different flight to be taken to San Francisco, but there was no documentation to confirm that such a transfer had ever happened, and the medical examiner's office in San Francisco never received the body either. As things stand, nobody seems to know what happened to it. Wow, that sounds like some dark, deep state kind of shenanigans there, doesn't it? Wonder if they knew Hillary. Sorry, I'm just saying. That is creepy, right? I don't know. Very strange. Very strange. But that's a weird one. I was today old when I learned about this one, and I got nothing. I don't know. How do you miss a body at this point with all of the red tape? Now, again, it's an international flight. They're from Turkey, so maybe they have different rules or different criteria. But generally speaking, the old law of habeas corpus is pretty international. Habeas corpus means have the body, and that's what you have to do when you're transferring somebody from some place to another, in whatever state they're in, whether they're drawing breath or not. They still have a body, and so there should be a trail of habeas corpus by international law. I'm pretty sure. That's crazy. Well, I don't know. That's a strange one. I don't know what to make of it, but That's creepy. Who was the man, though? That's the curious thing. We don't know. Who was the man? What was he known for? Was he known for something? Was he traveling to get away from something? Did he not make it? I don't know. That's the creepy, weird stuff. But anybody's guess. I don't know. I'm just leaving it there. I think that's going to wrap up the news for tonight. That was a few articles of interest and intrigue. I hope you found value and fun in that and merit. Probably a spy. That's what I was thinking, Riley. Or some secret scientist that was developing something and maybe he had to disappear. Maybe he's just fine. Maybe they just gave him the old, what is it, that like puffer fish stuff that knocks you out and makes you seem like you're dead. And then you'll recover, but by all examinations, you'd seem dead for a period of time until it wore off. I don't know. Maybe he's fine. Maybe it's a Project Paperclip in the 21st century. I don't know. Anybody's guess. But that's freaky. It's freaky that stuff like that still came. Still can happen. That's weird. So there you have it. Mystery Man dies on flight and then completely disappears. There's some kind of shenanigans on that one. For sure there is. For sure there is. And I mean, it's not only stupidly obvious, but it's like there's something going on there. That's strange stuff. All right. We'll leave it there because we're not going to solve it here on the portal, but now you know about it and you can continue to look into it and hopefully you'll find some information. Let me know if you do. I'm serious. That's the kind of story I'd love to know what the follow-up on that is, if there is any. So if any of you hears anything about that mystery man that disappeared after he passed away from a Turkish flight to Chicago O'Hare, I want to know about it. That's crazy. But this has been a presentation of the news. Right, Sheldon?
That's right.
I don't see you, but I see a lot of northern lights.
Oh, whoopsie. That's why. There we go.
All right, I'm going to close this up, and we'll get back to the rest of the show here just in time for Sheldon Thomas.
Yeah, sure.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are back, and now we are joined by my co-host, who is fashionably late, but that's okay. We're glad to have him, Mr. Sheldon Thomas. You are fashionable. You're fashionable, young man.
Of course, as always.
How's
it been going? How's the show? What
Good.
are we on now?
Good. We're doing good. I just introduced everybody to my Team Water campaign that I'm doing, and
Yeah, I saw that video. That was really cool.
thanks. Yeah, it's
morning.
you saw it right away this morning?
Afternoon, but yes.
Well, yeah, your morning. I should say your morning.
My morning.
Yeah, Mr. Nocturnal. If you don't know, Sheldon is, I think, kind of vampire, but it's okay. We love him the same.
I love the night.
I know you do. Yeah, but that, other than that, we did the news, so that brings us to here and now.
Excellent.
Excellente, and there's a lot more to cover, of course, folks, as we dive into more of the strange and wonderful world of the Paranormal Portal. So, okay, yeah, we got that one. So there was a bonus story on this Thought Catalog article that I was doing about black-eyed kids, and it's a long bonus article, bonus story rather, and so I thought, well, I was going to wrap it up last show, but we were getting to the end of the show, and I had to get some Cryptid Corner in there, because otherwise there'd be a mutiny. So I thought we'd do the bonus story tonight, and then we're going to dive into what the hell is that, and then the Cryptid Corner is where I think we're going to end up. All Grandizer's got a question for you. Sheldon?
Grandizer question. Sheldon, always dig your always dig your background. Is there a story behind it? You love those lights or have done research on them or other? I just love them.
You're just pretty.
You're just pretty. And I love Northern Lights.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah. The Aurora Borealis. So beautiful. All right. Well, here we go. This, again, was an article from Christine Stockton. It's from 2013, so it's a little dated, but the beauty of paranormal stuff is it's always evergreen. It doesn't ever go out of season. T-Bone coming in deep.
Bone.
Wow. Here we go. T-Bone gifting 5 memberships of the Paranormal Portal peeps. Let's see who got them. Scott J got one. Marcus Aurelius. Oh, very cool, Marcus. Good to have you out there listening, brother. RJ Windwalker got one. Frogskin got one, as did Darren Franks TV. Darren Franks TV. Well, welcome, everybody. Congratulations on your 1-month membership to the Paranormal Portal. Hopefully you enjoy it. Feel free to maintain that on your own, but at the very least, thank you, T-Bone, for making that possible. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. I don't even know what you said, Eric Fry. I don't know what that means. I'm just going to leave that there. But thank you, T-Bone. That's really cool. Some very generous gifts tonight. Thank you, guys. All right, so we're going to get to this bonus story on this article from Christine Stockton from thoughtcatalog.com, and it has to do with the black-eyed kids. So let's get to that. What do you say, Sheldon?
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's get in there and do it. Here it is. All right, last story on this article. It was via anonymous thought catalog readers, so we don't even know who to attribute this story to directly, but here we go. It was 1 a.m. I was a little late on walking my dog Dakota. She's a 3-year-old German Shepherd and a very tame for a big dog. Not in my entire time having her have I ever seen her run up to anyone. She gets very nervous around strangers, and I live very close to a large park that leads into a hiking trail. There's a large area that's used as a baseball field, and at the big entrance into the wilderness surrounded by trees and darkness. And here is where I let Dakota off the leash and follow behind her as she sniffs around trying to find a spot to just do her thing. Well, this night was a little different, though. As soon as I take off her leash, she jolts. Where the hell's my mouse? There it is. She jolts into high speed towards the trail opening. I know many of you are judging me for letting my dog off its leash, and trust me, I know I shouldn't do it, but it's one of those things you just don't tell people you do. Like littering or U-turns. Plus, this was completely out of character for her, and all I could think was, if she goes in there and doesn't come back, I don't think I can go after her. I was not about to get lost in pitch black darkness on a freezing cold night to get eaten by some mountain lions. I'd wait for her and probably call my roommate and tell him I'd be taking longer. But she didn't go in. She was about 8 feet from the entrance when I see a tall, dark figure calmly walking out of the darkness. Well, anyone else would have probably been freaked the hell out right there, but some creep walking out of the woods at this hour? Hell no. But I'm in pretty good shape, 6'5", and if anything, people are usually more scared of me than I am of them. Plus, the random weirdo isn't rare in LA, even if this is middle-class, good suburban neighborhood. So I call for Dakota, but she doesn't move. I've never seen a dog literally follow someone with their gaze, never break contact. It just didn't make sense. And that was where the uneasiness first kicked in, but it wasn't anything serious. It was just really strange. I started jogging towards her when I noticed it's a girl, about 17 to 20 years old, around 5'9" tall, and from what I could see, she was stunning. Long legs, beautiful body, short dark hair, almost reaching her shoulders in a tousled, sexy kind of way. Her long, messy bangs framing her face as she stopped walking to look at Dakota for a second. I couldn't make out her face really, but I didn't see a death-pale girl in a white dress floating like your stereotypical dead girl. I saw a stunning girl in skin-tight dark jeans, boots.
Sets.
It says sets. S-E-T-S.
I heard something completely.
I heard sex. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
That's exactly what I was like. Wait, what?
I was like, ooh, Ghostbox is getting a little randy over here, but
Okay.
S-E-T-S. That's why I had to look. I was like, what did it just say? It's close. Close. I think we got a lonely ghost hanging out here. Just not a good speller. I got a dyslexic Randy ghost. So, all right. Beautiful body. Let's see where we are. I could tell she had a light complexion, but no means did she look like a ghost. My first thought was maybe if we talk, I can get her number. And then I remembered this girl had just walked out of the hiking trail in the middle of the night. I started thinking about a documentary about female serial killers I saw once. But even if she was a crazy person, I still have no idea how she could just walk around up there when the darkness was so thick. I doubt you could see 1 foot in front of you. Even though there was something really off about all of this, when I saw her stop to look at Dakota again, I lightly said to her, "Don't worry, she's harmless." To which she completely ignores me and continues walking. I think, okay, I didn't expect someone who walks around the woods in the middle of the night to keep a conversation going. I put Dakota's leash on, but she doesn't budge. All she does is take a couple of steps towards this girl and then stops whenever the girl looks back at her. "I think she likes you," I say, to which again the girl just looks at Dakota. And all of this felt really weird, almost like a dream, like a light feeling, and that silence that sounds almost like you're underwater. No matter how much I tried to act cool, this was not normal. So here I am trying to get my paralyzed dog to budge, while an intimidating, mysterious girl doesn't break eye contact with her. I was stuck between "I'm so embarrassed" and "she's going to pepper spray me" when she takes one step towards Dakota, and my dog has her tail in between her legs and is whimpering like she sees the devil. And that's when I knew I had to go. If anyone knows when something's up, it's a dog. And as soon as this girl is walking again, I pick up my 60-pound dog by the stomach and start speed walking back. I probably look like a total idiot, but I didn't care. Whatever dream-like state I was in before had been completely broken by my dog's attitude. Everything inside me was telling me to go home. So I'm halfway across the field when I put my dog's leash on and set her down, and she doesn't budge again. I think, are you freaking kidding me? I will drag this dog when I almost threw up as I turn around to see this freaking girl standing on some bleachers not even 10 feet from me. I can see her face now in the light. And I kid you not, this girl was beautiful, but her eyes were blacker than black. They filled all of her eyeball with just 2 shiny orbs inside of 2 almond-shaped eye sockets. She looked completely different from the serious expression I could make out before. I freaking swear I wanted to run, but something made me stay. I felt like I was so scared that I could hear a faint, high-pitched humming in my ears, and my entire body felt heavy. I wanted to run more than anything, and I could have thought, oh, a strange chick in Halloween contacts, but I can't explain the feeling of absolute paralyzing horror I experienced without any rationalization. I didn't have time to. These feelings hit me like a freaking train, and I hope to God I never feel as helpless and mortified as I did then. She was not human. She was not a regular girl. And to make things worse, this girl says in a sultry, sweet tone that I'd expected to sound like something from beyond the grave, "Does she bite?" And still on defense mode, I think I managed to mutter out my idea of a no. I don't know if anyone else knows what I mean when I say I felt like as soon as I blinked again, she would be standing right in front of me. But she did. As soon as I finished saying no, she waited a couple of seconds before saying, "Do you live nearby?" To which I was going to say no, even though I did. But as soon as I went to speak, she said, "Did you drive here?" And I start walking back, trying to distance myself slowly. And again, before I can speak, she says, "I'm going to need to come with you. You'll let me come with you. That's okay, right?" "It's okay. Don't be afraid." And with that, the dog freaking books it. And I start running like a scared child, and my dog is right in front of me. I don't stop till I catch up with the dog, and we were at the other side of the street, and I take this time to turn around and make sure she isn't following me. Well, she's calmly walking back already all the way to the other side of the park where she was before. I called my roommate to meet me halfway with the car on my way back home, and I have never walked my dog after dark again. That's creepy as hell, right?
Wow.
So, is that a black-eyed kid though? I don't know. That could be more like a vampire thing, right?
It's very unique. I don't know. Maybe you've read more than me, but that sounds like a very unique interaction of a black-eyed kid or black-eyed person interaction.
It's very atypical because usually almost conclusively they show up at a door, wanting to come in, whether it's a car door, whether it's a house door, some door where they want to gain entrance. They need to be invited. They need that ability to cross a threshold into your space. I don't know how it works when you're out about. I've heard a few stories through the years, but most of them have to do with cars. Someone's in a car and they see these things out there, and in the car they want to get in, or they want to ride, or can you help bringing them home, or whatever. It's always something like that. But it's and I think it's because whatever is going on with them, they need your permission. They can't act on their own. They need that acquiescence. They need you to let them do something, or to at least come in close contact with you. And once you've said yes to them at all, it seems like then it's game on. But for them to just appear out of a park and then start grilling, it's a very atypical encounter. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very unique. I don't even know what to make of it, because it's, number one, it's not a black-eyed child. It sounds like it was like a
woman.
A woman, yeah.
Yeah, and there is stories of black-eyed adults too, and I think those could be any number of things. I mean, they could be certainly manifestations, spiritual manifestations with black eyes are pretty, I wouldn't say common, but they're not uncommon. They do happen where people see apparitions and they don't have eyes. They have these holes where eyes should be. And I don't know. It sounds like in this one that he was definitely able to make out the fact that she had like almond-shaped openings for eyes. So it sounds like some Asiatic kind of thing, but that her eyes were actually orbs of black. And there might be a pretty, I don't know how that works, if that's the same thing, but black-eyed adults seem to be fully manifest people. I've heard stories with black-eyed adults where they can have normal eyes and then give you the whole, oh, they just went jet black and they're staring at you. And that to me seems like, well, is that extraterrestrial? Is that demonic? What the hell are we looking at there? I don't know. Because there's the problem with all of this is that maybe our ancestors knew a hell of a lot more than we do, but all of the folklore that used to teach people about stuff like this, maybe some of this has been lost to time. But I think whatever these things are, they're not new. They're just because the name is new, it doesn't mean this phenomena is new.
The thing that's always interesting about me with these stories is that, and someone kind of mentioned like, oh, they're changing tactics, that kind of thing.
Maybe.
But why don't they ever change their tactics? Ever?
I don't know.
Other than this one story, I guess we just read now, but you know what I mean? Like, it's always the same.
Because, well, for one thing, I think the big takeaway is that they do need the permission. They need that permission. They need you to allow them to do something. And the easiest thing is, can I use your phone? Can I come in? Can I have a ride? Things like that, where, they're appealing to common human decency. You're seeing children, first of all, which if I was a predator looking like something disabled and helpless is a powerful way to be a predator, because you look injured, kind of like the story of the sea snake in the movie Gladiator, where the Roman senator is talking to whatever his name is, Claudius or whatever, and talks to him about the sea snake that lets things take bites of them and acts injured until they get close enough, and then it's boom. But so they look like they're vulnerable. They look like they're small children, which I think is one of the first big things. But the second thing, whatever it is that they do or want to do, they need your permission. And so by a simple permission of, oh, you can come in, that might be enough because you've already allowed them into your space. Like there's some rule or something, and I don't understand the logistics behind it because it's like, well, why do they need permission? And I don't know. That's the weird part.
It is weird. Like even with like dark entities, demonic entities, whatever word you want to use. But for dark entities, it seems like it's the same kind of thing. Like the story we've heard and the stuff that you've talked about, when you give permission, then things really start to change. When you give them control and that power and that fear, it only fuels them and makes things even scarier, at times. So you're right. There is like this aspect of permission that is needed with these spiritual entities, which is very interesting to me.
Yeah. Your sound went from real low to real loud. Is there an in-between there? Or?
Oh, sorry. I saw people were saying that I sound low, so I turned everything up.
No, I see that and that's great, but it just went all of a sudden way up. So I was like, ooh. How
does this sound?
Good. I think it's good. Does that sound good, guys? Let us know. The Men in Black might be related. They might be Man from West 420. That's true. There's been several people that have made that correlation that there might be similarities. Although the Men in Black stuff seemed to be mostly regarded and relegated to UFO sightings and witnessing. But I don't know how that relates to what the black-eyed kids are. But I don't know. It's anybody's guess. This is all weird. It's all weird. Annie Minnow says the sound is good, Sheldon. Thanks.
Perfect. Excellent.
Okay. All right.
Why do you think that is though? Genuinely, like what? Like if you had to take a guess or have to assume something, why do spiritual entities, dark and all that? Why do they need permission? Why can't they just...
I think there's some kind of spiritual or cosmic law where they need your permission. They can't just act with autonomy. And I don't know if that's some kind of divine providence. They have to be allowed in. Like there's some kind of divine mandate about that or some other, I don't know, it's almost like an accord or agreement that's ancient. And I don't understand it either, but they clearly need us to surrender. And maybe it's by virtue of us being such powerful manifestors in our own right that if we surrender to something, then it gives that thing power over us. So maybe it's more directly related to us giving up control of ourselves, because we are powerful manifestors. We are capable of so much more than we think. We just don't understand what our ability is. But whatever these things are, maybe they're a lot less powerful than us, but they just know what they're capable of and we don't, And so they need us to be afraid and to surrender. And then they can exact their will over us because once you're in a state of fear, how can you fight? So maybe it's a divine thing. Maybe it's just because we're actually a lot stronger than we give ourselves credit, and they need us to surrender in order to do what they want.
Yeah, I like that idea that spiritually, we're probably maybe way more powerful than we think. It's just that we don't know, we don't know. Yep. The roots of all that, yeah,
we don't know how deep that goes and how powerful that is. I mean, if we are truly, like, in religious terms, we often believe that we are manifest from the will of a divine being, and by virtue of being created, we are imbued with that divine energy, and so maybe we have to surrender it the same way that you have to. Sell your soul to the devil, you got to invite the devil in. It's the same kind of thing. It can't just take your soul, but, if you surrender that, then you're allowing something, a power over you. So I think that's the case for perhaps a lot of different things like UFOs, dark extraterrestrial or interdimensional visitors, dark energies, things like, all kinds of things. Demons, etc. So if we give them power, then they'll happily take it.
Oh, It's kind of cool to think about. It's really fascinating. It's so fascinating to me. God, there's so many questions. So many questions.
Yep, exactly. And even though says it's prey surrendering like the antelope does. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. If you convince something that they're alone and helpless, they'll give up eventually. So
Yeah.
there it is. Paranormal is a very interesting subject. It is. Very
Yeah.
much so, man from the West. But that's finally the conclusion of this article, folks. I just wanted to clean this one up so that I can close that tab finally. It's been a wonderful article. I would encourage you to check out Thought Catalog because there's so much more. So much more. All right. Well, don't be afraid of the dark movie. Nope. Try not to be, OG. I try not to be. But anybody else come in that I didn't see yet? No, looks like. I'm sure there is.
Vincent,
What's
maybe?
that? Vincent came in. Oh, good to see you, Vincent. Okay, and then I did see OG Bloodline has come in and been chatting. Good to see you all. Jed came in. Good to see you. Paranoid and conspiracies. Oh, you mean paranormal and conspiracy theories are my favorite topics. I think I like conspiracy more. I think I like paranormal a lot more. Conspiracy stuff actually makes me disturbed. I don't doubt that people are acting like absolute dicks out there and they're, doing all kinds of shenanigans. And I don't know how deep all of that goes to the nefarious, to the extraterrestrial, to the cult or whatever.
Governmental.
Yeah, well, governments and cults and secret societies and all that stuff. It's like, I don't know. It's too much stuff for me to think about because, I don't know. I just try to focus on my day-to-day.
Some conspiracy theories just terrify me because it's
Yeah.
like, what if it is true? And then it's like, oh, it just means a whole lot of other things. That's like, oh, oh no.
That's true. That is true. Yep. Yeah, exactly, Grandizer. We're definitely not going to tap into that tonight.
Nope, that's not. No.
I'll just say I don't doubt that there's some shenanigans at work and all of that. I'm not pretending I'm not aware of conspiracies. I'm very aware of a lot of them, and I think there's merit to a lot of them. But I still, that's not an egg we're going to crack on this show. This is the Paranormal Portal, not the
Tragedy portal.
Yeah, not the conspiracy corner. So, all right, the only corner we got here is the cryptid corner. So, all right, well, let's get to the next part because it is now that time, folks. It's time for.
What the hell is that?
Indeed. What the hell is that, Sheldon?
What the hell is that?
What was that in your mouth? What was going on there? You're not even shy about it anymore.
No.
Choo choo.
That's what I was. That was my. Oh my god, that was my nickname in the military with my unit. Choo choo.
Choo choo. No.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here you go. Let's get to the what the hell is that? I don't even know what the hell I'm doing right now. I was going cryptid corner, and I almost said conspiracy, and then I somewhere.
Well, is it cryptid? Oh, maybe it is.
It might be, but here we go, folks. Here's the first one up tonight. This one's kind of it's a video that's been around for a while. This one deals more with the extraterrestrial potential contact from NASA files. Could be something. I don't know if this video is legit, and it's been around for a long time, so it could be. I'm not really weighing in that it is something or it is something. If it's legitimate, it's a hell of a capture. And it's surprising that they obviously don't relegate with this with as much as they should. I gotta stop that one from playing. I have these tabs open for days and days, and then they autoplay every time I open them. So we gotta queue it up. But here we go. This is from apparently the NASA files. I don't know if this is from the space station or if this goes back to the Voyagers or the shuttles. I don't know. But let's check it out from apparently this one is coming from a Facebook group called Extraterrestrials and Contactees. And it seems like a neat group. I just stumbled onto this one, but I'm always excited to find these new groups on Facebook that have material and stuff to go through and potential footage and evidence. I think the more the merrier. Again, I think you got to be careful what you subscribe to just blindly. I saw something that was, I saw it just recently, and it was this is kind of a side thing, and I didn't grab a screenshot of it and stuff because I like the people that were involved. It was on their page, and it was a picture of some weird alien type of creature that was like 4 or 6 legs, and it was like tearing off, and it was clearly some kind of digital alter or AI build, but it was from what were they saying? It was from the James Webb Space Telescope pointed at Mars, caught this strange alien creature. And I was like, oh, no. So I had to correct it on that message thread. I'm like, just so you know, James Webb doesn't take photos. It only captures IR, and it doesn't create color photographs. So whatever you're looking at in this case doesn't make sense that it was from the James Webb, because James Webb is commissioned for deep space stuff going on in the middle of the galaxy and further. I mean, it's just deep space stuff. It's not looking at Mars and looking at the moon and stuff like that. And if it did, the images it rendered wouldn't be like photos. They would be mappings of IR signatures and stuff. But the other thing was it was like a ground level view of this thing, like running along the surface. So it was from almost the ground level, looking at it tearing off on the side. It was a still capture. But I'm like, if this was from James Webb, it would be from the top down. It wouldn't be a ground level photograph, So, because it would just, it's going to be shooting from the, space onto the surface. So whatever it captures is not going to be at ground level, something running by.
Yeah.
And so, just be careful what you sign on to, what you believe. And I love these people, and so I'm not critiquing them. She said, thanks for the information. I didn't even realize all of this, but thanks for more information. So they were grateful about it. But I don't think it's wrong to correct that stuff when you see it, or at least, tastefully weigh in with your opinion. I'm not saying be a jerk and be like, oh, I can't believe you losers. That's going to obviously start a bunch of crap and not going to help at all. So, Grandizer Wild Question, Brent, is there a channel that you recommend for conspiracies? Not currently. It depends. There's a lot of voices in the conspiracies out there. I don't really listen to it anymore. I did for a number of years, and then it just gave me headaches. So I kind of quit listening just because it's almost a truth I don't want to know, honestly. And maybe that's a cop out, and maybe that's a cowardly way of looking at it, but it's like, man, I just got to focus on where I'm at and where I'm going, not on the problems of the universe. So that's...
Yeah, I would do some digging, because I don't even know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure who are the good voices right now in the conspiracy world, but I still see and hear those things pop up, and I check them out to some degree. But anyway, yep, very wild stuff. So anyway, this is the video, apparently from NASA. You be the judge. Again, the group is Extraterrestrials and Contactees. This obviously isn't their video, but they posted it, so I wanted to give them some, recommendation for that. I think it's cool they posted it. Have a look and see what you guys think. And again, many of you are probably going to be familiar with this. There it is. And we're looking at these weird objects here. And it seems to be some kind of orbiter that's probably the Earth underneath it. So is it a space station thing? Is it from one of the shuttles? I don't know. It's pretty incredible that NASA has multi-billion-dollar equipment and they're still filming with potatoes. But look at those orbs. I don't know. Looks like it could be fake for sure, but it could be legit. I don't know. There's reports of these orbs everywhere, folks. So is this a capture that happened? I'm not going to tell you should believe it. I'm not going to tell you shouldn't. But allegedly this comes from a NASA leak or their archives. So, oh, not this. I don't like that it does that. So, interesting stuff all the same. Might be real, might not be, but it could be a great capture. What the hell is that? I don't know.
I have no idea.
No? You don't have an opinion?
No, I don't.
I guess that the point being that this I know this predates AI. Like this footage has been around a lot longer than AI. So
okay, That's good.
I know that
That helps.
that it predates that, because then that's the problem with current stuff, is that you almost can't tell. I mean, it's getting almost impossible to tell for sure. And all you can do is just apply logic to those. But with this one, I think it predates AI. It still doesn't suggest it's not possible through CGI to create something like this. Through a program like Blender, which is freely available, and you can create incredible renders that are like Hollywood quality right in your own home. You got to learn how to use it. It's not a simple program, but it is. There's a huge community of creators on Blender, so it could have been created on a CGI type of platform, but it could also be legitimate. This might be actual video footage of some kind of these, and I hate the term because drone implies so many things that I don't mean it to, but these drone-like orbs floating around. I don't know how big they are. I don't know how small they are. I don't know what scale we're looking at, but it's a fascinating capture. Could be.
I agree. That's a good way to put it. It's a fascinating capture. It's a really cool capture, but no idea
Yeah.
if I believe it's true or not.
Well, yeah, and there's so much we can't know. Just being lay people out here looking at footage, going, hell, I don't know if it's real or not. Because I don't have enough logical standing to really debunk it, and I don't have any technical knowledge to say, well, no, what you're seeing is this or this. It's anybody's guess, but it's the first entry into our what the hell is that? But there's more. There's still more. I got a whole host of things to get through. What?
Good.
You like this segment, Sheldon?
I love this segment. It's
You
one of
do?
my favorites.
Oh, good. Okay.
The news, this one, and going over videos. So I guess, yeah, what the hell is that? Yeah, I love it.
Okay. Well, that's this. What the hell is that? Is this? So this is good. This is good. We're going to check out this one. This one, I will tell you, I'd never seen it before. It's more of a recent thing. And the background story is it comes from Aliens and UFOs group. It was posted by Ivan Mara, Ivanmarra. And it was posted to Aliens and UFOs group. Again, it came up on my reel feed. And I was like, wow, I don't know what to make of this. But apparently, a man was using his drone to check on a fire that was breaking out near his house. And he captured something passing by. Now, what he captured passing by, again, I can't speak to whether or not it's AI. I just don't have enough information. Could it be? Maybe. Could it be other kind of hoaxing? Probably. But it could also be legitimate, and we can't lose sight of that as we're looking at these. That it might be legitimately captured footage. His story might be absolute honest. And then we have to look at what did he capture. So I can't tell you if it's faked or how it's faked, but I can tell you I don't know what he captured. And we're going to check this out right now. Again, using his drone to check on some burning that was going by near his house. Here we go. I don't think there's sound. Oh, there's music. So this is looking at the stuff, and this is the thing right here. It looks kind of like a bird or like a manta ray. And I don't know what to do with it. It doesn't like have a distinguishable head or tail, but it does appear to be flapping as it's going by. And I don't know what that is. I'm going to try to pause it, and then we can look at as many captures as it goes by. But there's the actual thing. There's no discernible head, but this is clearly a flapping motion. I'm going to shoot ahead a little bit. As it's going by, that's kind of a more of a profile shot as he was panning. I'm wondering what kind of buildings this is. I'm not sure where this was. Is this China? Is this California? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I see the architecture.
Yeah, it's kind of different. It looks more Asian in a lot of respects for me personally.
Yeah.
But I don't know what we're looking at here. But let me back it up a little bit. As I click and go, it does have that flapping motion, which I think is there. The wings, quote unquote, wings are up, but it reminds me of like a manta ray without a tail, and it looks like an owl right there. But as it gets closer, it's like, well, I don't really see the owl part anymore. But you see that flapping, right? Let me play it in real time now again. Here it comes.
Yeah.
Coming through right there. Up, down. But it's moving too, right? This is, I mean, it's not really real time. It slows down. So I'm curious, what do you guys think? Can you guys let me know in the chat, what do you think it is that we're looking at here?
So the thing that's giving me hints is that it's moving the same way the wind is blowing. You can see other debris and ash moving through.
Okay.
The flapping motion is getting me. I agree with that. But I do kind of agree with Dolph's comment right there. Flying paper debris, but the flapping motion is the weird part that's getting me.
Sure. I mean, it is really traveling. I don't know that it's going super fast because he does slow the footage down. I wish he would have kept it in real time just so we could see if it's moving at a much quicker pace. And I don't know what the frame rate capture on this is. I mean, it could just be a strong wind and it's just paper that's being carried by some gusts. It's not impossible, and you're right. That's a great assessment, but seems like a strange bird, a heron on a bad camera. I just don't know. Herons generally look like pterodactyls. You can at least make out something.
There's no head.
That flapping is what really kind of trips me out. It's like, really, look at those wings. I'm going frame by frame now. They go up right there, and then they seem to really flex and push for the down flap. Like, there it is. It flaps just like a bird. You know? I mean, it's just really convincingly bird-like. But it could just be captured in a thermal that's being generated by wind and the heat. I don't know.
I can't tell.
Yeah, I'm lost on this one too, honestly, folks. I don't know what to do with this one. It's one of those really strange, unusual. There's not enough backstory to really understand where is this, what was going on, but that's what we're left with. And I don't think it's a UFO. I think it's something. Oh, Mr. Dave Scott, Spaced Out Radio, coming in and hanging out for a minute. Gotta love you, brother. Thanks for stopping in. But it's a very compelling video, and I'm not sure what we're looking at. I really don't know. I don't know where to go with this one. It's either an all-out hoax or it's just a misrepresentation, most likely. And it is debris captured in a thermal from the fires, as well as maybe there's some extraordinarily strong winds carrying it. I'm gonna put it up to that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
But it does seem to flap. Let's watch it in full motion again, one more time, or at least more as full as we can. But you can see he's definitely slowed it down because the other debris kind of checkers by.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah, so there it is. I don't know what to make of it, folks, but that's a strange one. Again, not sure. Hi, all, another great show here. Make sure to give your thumbs up like I did. And ladies and gentlemen, remember, if you started out with Lon at 6, then catch the portal at 7, and then you can head over to Dave Scott and close out your night with Spaced Out Radio over there. He's always got amazing shows.
Yeah.
There's my boy, Mr. Dave Scott. Or, as I like to call him, Betty White. Because he's timeless. He's timeless. The man's timeless. There we go.
There you go.
That's the next video. Again, I got more. But I got more. Because that's how we roll here in the portal, folks. We're rolling deep.
That's right. That's right.
This one was different. It's allegedly a body cam capture, and this one's coming from Haunts and Hollers. And it's apparently a police body cam that might be catching some serious ghostly activity. So, I don't know. Let's see what you think. Let's check it out together. I think I got to play this one with sound. I don't think there's music on it. I think it's just the officer himself talking with that chest cam. Now, I will say the one thing it's missing is usually on the body cams, and generally the biggest body cam producer for law enforcement is a company named Axiom, AXIOM. And they usually have date, time, watermarks, and everything on there along with their branding that you can see on the screen. That's not present on this. So that is a red flag to me for if it is body cam footage. The fact that it's not including those Axiom date timestamps and all of that relevant information is a bit of a red flag, but does that mean it's not what they're saying it is? No. It could very well be, but I'm going to try to make it a little bit bigger if I can here. Just to see if I guess it doesn't really blow it up that way. It's up and down, and this monitor is much smaller, so I got to go a little bit smaller. All right, here we go. Here's the next one. This is body cam footage from, again, Haunts and Hollers on Facebook. Check out Haunts and Hollers on Facebook and see what else they got to offer. I know they got tons of these things over there, so they're always posting up some pretty interesting stuff. But this is allegedly a real ghost caught on police body cam. Let's see what you think. Here we go. I'm just going to let it play. I don't think there's music. If there is, I'm going to have to shut off the sound. Now, I don't know if the whimpering and stuff that you're hearing is actually supposed to be more spirit sounds or not. That's not really clear. It's kind of taken really out of context, so we don't have the backstory. We don't know what, if this is a police call, what initiated the call, what was going on that got them there. There's so much we don't know. But, I don't know. Let's watch it again.
Police department, anybody in here? Show your hands. Make yourself known.
Does look like a pew-pew. Okay, the one thing I will say, first of all, is there does seem to be audio layering going on here. The police voice could very well be legitimate and part of the actual recording. The breathing on top of it doesn't sound like it's in the same audio spectrum. It sounds much more robust. The police himself sounds like a very tinny, like the Axiom body cameras, they'll record sound, but it's not like you're getting studio sound. But the breathing, I'm pretty sure is layered on there. So that's a red flag as well. But let's continue. Let me go back a little bit. Maybe the breathing is supposed to be the police officers, and if it is, it still doesn't sound like it fits. But anyway, let's go.
Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Right now. So that I can't.
Whoops. So there you go. Is it police footage that we're watching here? Again, from Haunts and Hollers on Facebook. What do you think? What the hell is that, folks? Again, we should be seeing, there should be more in frame here. It's been cropped, and maybe that was to cover up the police precinct and all of that. I don't know. It is possible it's been cropped for that reason. These are usually much more full view than this, but it's been cropped top and bottom to a degree. It's really a fisheye kind of lens, those Axiom body cameras. They're meant to capture a lot of field of view, almost 180 degrees. What we're seeing here is a cropped version of it, so it's possible the data points and information of the department and stuff are not included because maybe it wasn't supposed to be released. I don't know. That doesn't mean it's not actually police body cam video. It's creepy. I'd hate to be that officer in that situation. What do you think, Sheldon?
I agree with Chucky.
What did Chucky say? You'll have to tell me. I'm not reading.
I'm not convinced.
Fair enough. And it could be, but it very easily couldn't be.
Yeah, I mean, it could be legit. I'm not saying it's not, but I don't know. Just
Annie Manuel saying too manipulated. Why? Exactly. Yep. It seems staged. Annie Aussie says, yeah. No, cops don't like donuts. Everybody likes the donuts. But yeah, too manipulated. I think that's a good point. The fact that they crop so much out is real red flags. The breathing on top of it feels like
Extremely dramatic breathing too.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my lord.
it's
God.
it's really like if he's trying to be quiet and listen for what's going on around him, that's not a good way to breathe. If you're like you're walking around with a pew pew and you're like well, you got to be quiet. You got to listen. Somebody could be coming. You got to be on a heartbeat away from life and death. You don't want to be huffing and puffing so you can't hear anything else. Might as well be listening to a spirit box at that point. You know, that's why I don't like spirit boxes, is for that exact reason. You could be missing disembodied footsteps. You could be missing disembodied voices, all kinds of stuff because you're listening to. It's like, don't do it. I'm just saying. I think you got to have all your senses available. Yeah. That's my take. But all right, there you go. How are we doing for time?
Whenever I'm listening to something, I don't like increase my breathing and like I slow it down so I can hear things. I don't go I can't hear anything.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, like when I was working in corrections, when we had a situation we had to go in and take care of, you want to be quiet. You want to be absolutely like a mouse so you can hear everything going on around you. You know, especially if like I wasn't running around with firearms, it was, minimum security, but still, you weren't just like, it's like, God, shut up. You couldn't hear somebody stomping up behind you with a butcher knife or something. It's like, sorry, just wait. I got to catch my breath. It's like, you might need just get an inhaler. No offense. I mean, obviously, if that is really him breathing and that's just, it is legitimate. He's obviously out of his element, and God bless him.
I feel bad then. I feel really bad.
But
if it's real.
But there's a lot we don't know. That we don't know what the background is. What led up to this call? What was going on? Was the location known for this? What was the claims? Why was the officer running around looking for somebody in a house? There's a lot, and there's a lot we can't see too because it's been cropped. It's been cropped severely. So anyway. Interesting take. Could it be real? I guess so. I mean, it's not my purview of this to say, no, that's obviously junk and here's why. If I can clearly see something, of course I'm going to say it, but this is ambiguous, but it's leaning way towards, why was it so doctored? Why was it so cropped and minimized and you only get this little slit to look through?
That's weird. That part's weird too.
Yeah. I mean, literally, when you look, I used to review Axiom body camera footage as a sideline for a security company and just evaluating officer performance and stuff. And it was like, when you're watching those things, you can see everything in the front of these officers. It's like absolutely wide open. And when I see this from a body cam, it's like, what is that? The Temu body cam? What the hell is this?
Why would you crop it? That doesn't make sense. You're right.
Well, the only reason I can think is that maybe it was unofficially released, like it's supposed to be part of the police officers, maybe some files or whatever, and it's not meant to be released to the public. And somebody just went, "Oh man, put that footage out there, but we gotta change it to remove all of the the incriminating factors, like because it usually says what law enforcement's department it is, state." Time, date, and some other relevant information would all be displayed as part of the display, and usually in one of the down corners here. But at any rate, that's what we got to work with. I don't know. Laugh, Marie, like the Temu body cams. Temu body cam is like a periscope.
Yeah.
You get this little eye that's above your head looking around. That could work. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. I think we're going to probably move to the cryptids while we still got some time. I got more of the what the hell is that? I got a couple more things to go through for next time, and I'm sure I'll find some more. So,
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Let's get back to the next part of the journey, folks. And this is the Cryptid Corner. Thank you, man from the West. Thank you, Eric.
Some cryptids.
Time for the cryptid corner. It's time for some cryptids. Y'all ready for some cryptids up in here?
Yeah.
You ready? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was a lot of energy there, Sheldon. Try to contain it. Keep it dialed in there, buddy.
Yeah.
Don't want you stroking out. All right. Well, we're going to get to the cryptids because that's where we're going. Got some Sasquatch Chronicles ready for you guys. And special thanks, obviously, to Mr. Wes Germer, Sasquatch Chronicles, Mr. Sasquatch Chronicles himself.
That's right.
We're going to get to this. This is some of his blog. Again, Phantoms and Monsters isn't up yet. I didn't check it today, though. I should look. Just out of curiosity, because I do miss Phantoms and Monsters as well. Phantom, whoops, helps if I spell it correctly. Phantoms and Monsters, not yet. It's a big reworking. I know Lon's just busting his tail getting that done, and you know he wants to get it done as quick as he can. So
Yeah.
keep watching Phantoms and Monsters, ladies and gentlemen, because we definitely want to support what Lon's doing as well. Lon's really been at this for a long time, but Wes has been at this for a long time too, and his site is up, so we're gonna rip him off tonight.
There you go.
Thank you, Wes. Thank you. All right, here we go. It's time to look at the Sasquatch Chronicles here in the Cryptid Corner, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to August 1st. It's today old. This is the 1st, isn't it? Wow. All right, let's do this. That's when I saw it, August 1st. A listener writes, "Hey, Wes, I've been following your show for a few years now, and after listening to many episodes, I'm finally ready to tell my small story. This is the outline. I was about 8 miles deep into the Susquehanna River Trail, setting up camp at around 6:30 p.m. when I heard this deep, guttural sound echoing through the old growth forest. At first, I thought it might be an elk, but it was unlike anything I'd heard in 20 years of hiking these woods. And the smell hit me next. This overwhelming musky odor, like wet dog mixed with something wild and pungent. My dog Arya started whimpering and pressed up against my legs, which was completely out of character for her. And that's when I saw it through the massive Douglas firs, maybe 80 yards away. This enormous dark figure moving between the trees with a strange fluid gait. It had to be at least 8 feet tall, covered in dark brown hair with incredibly broad shoulders. And the way it moved wasn't quite human. Too smooth. Too purposeful. And it paused and seemed to look directly at me for what felt like forever, but was probably only 10 to 15 seconds. That's still long. When you consider you're locking eyes with this big unknown for 10 or 15 seconds, that would feel like real forever.
Oh, that is wild, yeah.
I fumbled for my phone camera, but my hands were shaking so badly, I just couldn't get it focused. And by the time I looked up again, it had vanished into the thick underbrush without making a sound. I found some disturbed vegetation the next morning and what looked like a partial footprint in the soft earth near the creek, but the rain overnight had washed away most of the details. I've been hiking these mountains my whole life, and I know every animal that lives there. But this was something else entirely. I love those stories where people are very familiar with the area, they're very familiar with the wildlife in an area, and then they're confronted with something they're not. I think that's cool. That's very powerful, right?
Oh, extremely. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's incredibly awesome when people are made believers, and not in a rough, horrible way. I mean, in all regards, this is a very peaceful way to learn that Bigfoot's really out there. I don't know if this person was a believer. I guess I don't know. It doesn't really state where they started at with this, but I'm not sure if that's someone Wes will interview or not. It's still a great sighting. It's just, it was kind of a one-timer is what it sounds like. But what an awesome opportunity, and what a cool thing to have for the rest of your life. I mean, I don't like to like always bring up my own stories, but the growl, I'm not happy that I have to remember that, you know, but that was like, I thought I was going to die. The UFO, I'm happy because it was kind of the same thing. It was like something I believed, and then I saw it and it was there. And then I got to take that with me after that. And I wasn't abducted and probed or anything. So that's what makes it cool. It's like, okay, I got to see it. I was always looking, and I got my confirmation, and that's awesome. You know, so I don't know. So for this person, they now have that confirmation, I guess. If they weren't a believer before, they're a believer now. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to have a sighting, this is a good sighting to have, right, Sheldon?
Well, it's better than the missing 411 sightings. Yeah.
I don't know if those count as sightings because we don't even know if the people saw it coming.
Right.
They're just gone.
Experiences, I should say.
Yeah, experiences. Good save, good save. All right, we'll go to the next one from July 31st. This is yesterday old. Hunting guide in the Rockies, experience with Sasquatch. A listener writes, the story I'm sitting down to tell is a true one. One experienced by a faithful friend of mine, Sam, and I. I'm often reluctant to tell this story at length to most people as the subject matter is unexplainable and really rather strange. I don't want it to be viewed as the superstitious nuts, but having guided all across the country and having extensive experience in many environments around the United States, I feel I have the authority to tell this story. Essentially what I'm saying is I've been around in the deep, dark hollows all across North America and never experienced something so strange as I did that night. I don't fancify my experiences in the woods, nor do I hopefully imagine there's something more to twig breaking. As anyone who spent a good deal of time in the woods knows, there's no reason to. Everything you'll experience something daring, it says daring, or fantastic. Everything you'll experience, eventually you'll experience something daring or fantastic. Okay, I was misreading that. I am a hunter first and foremost, and to a hunter, there's always an explanation, a reason to the wilderness and her inhabitants. It's how we identify patterns and exploit an animal's rhythm to make a successful hunt. As a hunter, you're part of a woodsman detective, piecing together clues to set yourself up for success. Let's just say this tale is a cold case. Well, let's get into it. It was very early summer and I was itching to go camping. I had recently received a new tent and was eager to use it. I called up my good buddy Sam and we planned out our camping adventure. We considered going up to the Grayson Highlands or even south into North Carolina, and after debating it, we decided it would be more fun to camp somewhere we wouldn't run into any other people. Deep in the woods, far from anyone else, where we could bushcraft, hoot and holler, and bring a gun in without fear of scaring the yuppies coming camping next to us. While we both lived in the woods, I definitely had access to the most remote stretch of woods between us. So we loaded up our stuff and began hiking deep into the valley below my childhood home. The hike was almost completely straight down a steep hillside, deep into a hollow that held a small patch of flatland, a floodplain area, and creek. The small creek that ran gave the area a beautiful ambience. Early signs of summer were visible all around, and the weather was great. We hiked until we felt the need to start gathering firewood before nightfall. Behind us was a steep hillside that rose into the west for miles. In front of us was the creek, and to the left, the start of another ridge and hillside that rose high into the east and north. To our right, the valley we were in continued to go down, cutting a deep valley, and on the other side of the creek, another ridge separated by a small stream from the ridge to the left, rose into the west and to the south. These two ridges in front of us ran for miles, and the little valley formed by the small creek split these ridges for a long ways up until it hit the spring head. This is important for later in the story. Off to the right, further down the valley, more splits in the ridges are made by little tributaries. We started building camp by clearing the brush and leaves away and constructing a small fire pit. I placed a tarp on the ground to separate my tent from the damp earth. And remember this, the tarp extended out roughly a foot on each side of the tent. Sam had a hammock that he planned to sleep in, and I've only ever camped in a hammock once, and it didn't go great. But I didn't want to say anything to him, thinking that maybe he would enjoy it. We gathered a hefty load of firewood consisting of some reasonably dry stuff. It was shaping out to be a really nice camping trip. I've spoken about the joy of being out there on this blog before, so I won't beat a dead horse, but it was really nice to be away from people. Sam and I sat around the fire and shot the breeze until the sun went down. Now, one of the things Sam and I have always bonded on has been Bigfoot shows. We're both skeptics, and I would say we hold a similar or same opinion on the subject. Our interest is less about believing in Bigfoot, but rather we just find the subject matter to be nostalgic, silly, and a fun thing to joke about. So I brought up the idea to Sam that we begin to hunt Bigfoot. Well, he laughed and thought it was a great idea. So we began doing the antics that they do in the Finding Bigfoot TV shows. We started with the classic tree knocks. A tree knock, for those unaware, is when you use a stick to beat on a tree, making a loud knocking sound that echoes through the forest. Supposedly, Sasquatch communicate this way. We didn't think anything of it at all. As I said before, we really didn't believe. We were just joking around. So we began by knocking on some trees and then stopping and listening for a response. After a few times of doing this, we paused. Hearing nothing, I began to think of a joke to crack and something else to do. Before I could open my mouth, we heard clear as day a tree knock far off somewhere on the ridge to the left. I looked at Sam and said, "Dude." Sam just looked back at me in surprise. I then did some more knocks, and we listened again, and then off in the distance we heard more knocks in response. Then the other ridge to the right began hearing knocks. Sam at this point was beginning to freak out a little and was perplexed about what it could be. I, at the time, was such a hard skeptic, I carried on and insisted it was a person or a woodpecker. But who in the world would be out there, deeper in the woods than we are? On private land, what woodpecker makes 3 booming knocks on a tree? That sounded exactly like the knocks we make. Sam voiced his rebuttal. I just ignored these arguments and held strong to the fact that there is no Bigfoot. I then insisted that we push the envelope by doing whoops and howls, just like they do on TV. Well, Sam wasn't very enthused by this idea, being the humbler and smarter one of us that night, knowing sometimes there's certain things you don't mess with. But at that time, I was full of piss and vinegar and stubborn as a mule about the fact that Bigfoot was just not real. I also had brought a gun with me and was certain I could fight off anything we would need to fight off. So we started howling into the woods. It was dark that night, being a new moon, and beyond the firelight you couldn't see a damn thing. We'd howl and wait, listening for a reply. After a few howls, the excitement of what was that started to fade, and my logical, rational, science-based theory of the woodpecker began to appear true. Then out of the dark distance came one of the strangest sounds I've ever heard. A howl. Not a canine howl, not an owl's hoot, but a freaking ape howl. Sam's eyes were as big as backhoe tires. I love that metaphor. And even I was finding it hard to reason that one. Despite this, I continued my ignorant stubbornness and threw out another howl. Off to the left ridge, it replied to us again. The clearest ape whoop I've ever heard, as if it were recorded by researchers in the Congo. I looked at Sam, myself feeling more curious and excited than anything else, and I reiterated, "Dude." Then something truly unexplainable and spooky happened. More whoops and howls began on the ridge to the right and further down the valley. They weren't random, they had etiquette, as if they were chatting back and forth with each other. The one to the left would howl and the one to the right would whoop and howl. The first would respond and then the one way down the valley would chime in. Sam was really freaked out now and began considering if we should just leave. I, being the stubborn idiot, claimed it was just owls. Owls? We were both raised in these hollers. I've heard owls. You're going to tell me that was an owl? Have you ever in your life heard an owl that sounded like a freaking ape? Sam argued against my claim. Well, no, but there's no way Bigfoot's real. It has to be a bunch of owls speaking to each other. There's nothing else it could be, I replied, half laughing in astonishment and disbelief at what was unfolding that night. Sam and I kind of bickered for a minute over it and then decided the wisest decision was to stop antagonizing whatever it was in the woods miles around us, whooping and knocking. It wasn't too long after that we decided to just go to bed. I crawled into my tent and Sam into his hammock, and we left the fire going. Every time the fire died down, the woods came to life. Whether it was paranoia or paranormal or something was just stirring. All around camp we could hear what sounded like things being thrown and footsteps. From time to time we would hear another knock or another howl coming from a new position. Sam would leap up out of his hammock and chuck loads of wood onto the fire and just make it as big as possible. He'd then lay back down to sleep, and this repeated about 3 more times. Each time the fire died, things got spookier and spookier. A few times Sam would say, "Did you hear that?" And every time I would just blame it on possums nearing camp, hoping to find food scraps. Well, about the 3rd time, Sam ran out of firewood, meaning that this time when the fire died, it died for good, leaving us to the dark void of the Appalachian holler. I vividly remember I had fallen asleep before the fire died, and after it died, there was so much stirring around camp, I began to wake up. I was slowly waking up thinking I was having some sort of nightmare, when I finally fully sobered and realized that my dream was pleasant. It was a reality that was full of frightening sounds and things that go bump in the night. The woods around us had become loud with unexplainable movement. The movement of multiple large things, the whooping and knocking had stopped, which didn't comfort me with all the new sounds right outside my door. There was maybe a 30-yard perimeter around camp that the sounds did not cross. Then suddenly, an extremely loud crashing began through the twigs, leaves, and branches. It was something large, running full sprint through the woods, starting maybe 50 yards away and running straight towards our camp. It grew louder and louder until the sound of crushing leaves turned to crinkling tarp. The creature was standing on the tarp my tent was situated on. I was frozen like a child, frozen in fear, eyes wide open. My heart was pounding out of my chest so hard I thought it would explode. I then heard high above my tent, not near the ground but 4 feet up, but high above my tent, the most terrifying sound I've ever heard. It was the sound of a huff and blow, exactly the way you hear a gorilla do it on TV, or how the apes in the Planet of the Apes do it. 3 forceful huff and blows. Then the creature turned around and ran back the way it came, back into the darkness of the night. Sam practically leaped out of his hammock and said, "You had to have heard that." I replied with, "Yeah, let's get the hell out of here." I slid around in the chamber of my 30-30 and crawled out of the tent. We both got busy grabbing only our essentials and started out of the woods. Using crappy dim flashlights, we made our way up the hill, frantically looking behind us into that terrible night, and trying to move as fast without running. We hiked a long ways, and by the time we made it back to the house, it was far past midnight. We never did see what it was that charged us. We never did hear anything else after that, but whatever it was scared us enough to make us hike out in the dead of night and leave all of our gear there. We returned the next morning in full daylight to gather our things. Looking back, I wish we had surveyed the area for tracks or some clue as to what all of that was, but at the time we didn't want to be down there any longer than we had to. Having been some years since this happened, I would go down there in a heartbeat and not think a thing of it. When I come home, I usually feel a sense of ease in the woods. It feels like a weight is lifted off your shoulders knowing there are no cougars or grizzly bears to worry about. For my Western outdoorsy folk familiar with cougar country, reading this and thinking, I don't feel a weight in the woods, my reply would be the question, have you noticed you've been stalked before? Cougars are some of the sneakiest creatures in the animal kingdom, and just because you've never noticed it doesn't mean it hasn't happened. I myself have been stalked, and I've written about it here previously. It's a feeling that will stick with you and definitely put you on edge in cougar country for a long time after. I have a colleague who guides western big game in New Mexico, and he told me a story once that during a hunt he had a fellow guide spotting for him, and that guide watched a cougar stalk my friend through a grove of trees before giving up. My friend never had the slightest idea he was even being stalked. I believe for an avid outdoorsman in cougar country, it's inevitable. And as far as grizzly country, it's similar feeling, but a little different. Most ill bear encounters happen because you surprise the bear in thick woods. I have many friends from my time in Alaska who would share stories of being charged by monster grizzlies from out of nowhere. They're just hiking along and then boom, 800 pounds of death is blasting straight towards them. And the consensus is the same amongst them. If you spend enough time out there, it will happen eventually. I luckily was never charged during my time in Alaska. I avoided known bear hangouts, but the few times I spent time in bear country, I always had this jack-in-the-box anxiety waiting for it to happen. What is funny, though, is despite the weight of being lifted initially, the old feeling always returns. I know it's not some sort of psychological thing having to do with that patch of woods specifically, because I feel it in most places in Appalachia. It's a feeling of being watched, a feeling that something is there, and a feeling of dread, and it amplifies every time you hear some strange crashing in the woods or a sound that you just can't explain. Most of the times I've experienced this, I've had a gun, and I think to myself, come on, man, you're the most badass thing out here. Yet, I can never shake that anxiety. Oh man, we're almost done. It's a long story. My brother, without having ever heard this story, reluctantly asked me over the phone one day, don't think I'm crazy, but have you ever felt creeped out in the woods below the house? I don't know what it is, but every time I go down there, I feel like I'm being watched, and I get filled with dread. Hearing him say that sent shivers down my back, simply because I always dismissed this feeling. I've swept this story under the rug for years, telling myself it was just a bear, etc., to hear my brother, who is a Marine, tell me that, certified to me that it was simply not being a sissy. I've only ever felt this in two regions of the country, Appalachia and the redwood forests of Northern California. Now, some of you reading this may think that I'm just a nutjob Bigfoot believer. I've been reluctant to share this story for that reason, but I want to end this saying I have no idea what it was that made those calls that night. I also have no idea what it was that busted into our camp. We never did lay our eyes on anything. But I want to reiterate that the story is true, verbatim, to how it happened as I can recall it without any embellishment. I have no idea what it was, and you can make your own decisions as to what you think it was. But being an experienced woodman, never have I experienced something like that since. and I have no worldly explanation for it. Those were the events that transpired that night, and I'll let you make of it what you will. Wow.
My lord.
What do you think of
What an
that?
experience.
Right?
He's got to be a believer now. Come on, he believes now.
Yeah, he's got to believe. He's got to believe. We went a little overtime.
Could have called it a bear, I suppose.
Everything's a bear. It's a bear.
Everything's a bear. It's a bear.
That was a good story, though, right, Sheldon?
Extremely. God, I was in it. I was in the story.
Yeah, he did a good job laying it all out and really
man.
pulling the reader into the experience. I'm glad I narrated it okay.
Yeah, he did. That moment of in the story, just 50 yards away, something dead sprinting directly at you. This hard pounding and breaking of branches and whatnot. Whew.
I don't know what that would be like to have something charging right at you with that's doing that. But I can only imagine it's got to be about the worst feeling in the world. It's just whatever it is coming, and even the trees and sticks aren't stopping it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's just a completely helpless feeling because you could probably hear how heavy it is.
Oh, I'm
and
sure.
You know there is nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, no, you're just going to have to, probably the fetal position's your best call. Just curl into a small ball and call for mommy. All right. Hello, BJ. Good to see ya. Good to see ya. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we kind of went long, but I hope it was worth it. That was a great story. Thank you, Wes, for letting us use the blog and talk about all this craziness. Oops, I still got the Cryptid Corner thing on.
Thank you, Wes. My lord.
Yeah, that was a good one, wasn't it? Oof.
Yeah, that was a great one.
That's the one that'll curl your tail hairs. But
Oh, yeah.
Sheldon, what do you got in closing, brother?
Well, guys, don't forget, paranormalportal.net is the place to be to stay up to date on new episodes. One, the Paranormal Portal is going live, as well as your very own interview me right on the page itself. Interview me button, and you can schedule your very own interview if you have an amazing experience to share. Also, don't forget the Discord. I want to post a link right in there. It's not going to be the .gg one.
Oh, it's not? Is it different now?
No, I'm just. Oh yeah, it's right in the description, isn't it? Aha!
Yes,
There
it
it
is.
is. Aha! Right there, discord.gg/paranormal portal, where you can come to everyone in the Discord, where all the amazing discussions are happening, and stay up to date on those as well, especially the questions of the week. There's still time, guys. Chucky's question of the week is up right now. And are you going live tomorrow?
I am. I'm going to go live tomorrow. And then I don't know if there's going to be a Wednesday show, but I'll be live tomorrow. And we'll do it one more time this week. So,
Yes, question of the week will be tomorrow. There's still time to get your answers in.
absolutely. And that's what we got. Minion, you want to say anything? Come on over. He snuck in.
Oh,
Lean in.
sneaky.
You want to say anything? Hey, everybody. How you doing? Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
All right, everybody. That's what we got tonight. That's the Minion. He's my co-star in that water video, so he did a
Yep.
great job. He was my cameraman and co-star, and we had a lot of fun, didn't we?
You did good.
Go to teamwater.org. Help out if you can, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day. And laugh as much as you can.
Laugh as much as you can.
Amen. All right. Good night, everybody.